What is the ultimate web browser? Well, to answer this, we're going to have to do a little bit of a story. So, we got Bob. He's your average Joe Schmo. He has no clue that big tech is snooping on him through his web browser, taking all of his data and selling it like discount candy. Anyhow, so one day, in a burst of unfiltered honesty, he spills his guts about the King of England, oblivious to the repercussions. And lo and behold, as Bob's flight made a quick stop in England, the local authorities swarm Bob, slapping him with charges for daring to speak his mind about the king. So, to not end up like Bob, we have to figure out, how do we stop big tech from stealing our data? And of course, the first step in preventing data collection is to have good OPSEC. And to stop this is, don't share your opinions online, only maybe in trusted and encrypted chat programs. Definitely not Discord. And the next thing is we need to understand our browser options. So you might be thinking, what are the mainstream browser choices? We have Google Chrome, Edge, Opera GX, Safari, but there's an issue with these. They're all tapped, meaning big data is going to collect everything on you if you use these browsers, especially Google Chrome. That one, despite being the most widely used web browser, is just stealing all your data, all of it. So now, what would be a step up from these? We got, first of all, we got Brave. Next, we got Firefox, and then there's this other one, more obscure, called Vivaldi. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but I don't really care. But so these ones, they still might collect data. I know Firefox, it's definitely still collecting quite a bit of data. But usually, you can go through the settings and disable all that. And I know Brave also, they ship with a few analytics things they want you to keep enabled, but I know when you on first startup they let you disable them, which is also pretty neat. But now, let's say you're a little bit paranoid. You want to go even further. What would be a 100% private browser? And for that, honestly, it would be the Tor browser. It's 100% private out of the box, but I know at least the mobile version, it definitely lacks a bit of features. And of course, the fact that it's slow as hell, considering it's using the Tor network. Anyhow, so we got our list of browsers. How do we choose a good one? To choose a good one, we're going to have to set out some guidelines or some factors for choosing a good web browser. The first one is support. A good web browser is supported by the majority of sites you visit. The second one, privacy. A good web browser will not collect any data. Like, if we're, theorizing, the best possible browser, absolutely zero data collection. Next up is security. A good web browser will be secure and come with modern protection features, maybe even some sandboxing. And then, finally, number 4, utility. A good web browser will ship with things like add-ons or extensions, so you could add things like a KeyPass add-on. That's a big one. And then maybe even some customization features. Alright, so let's compare browser security. So we have a few different browsers. We got the Tor browser. This one offers the highest level of security as a byproduct of its insane level of privacy. The next one is Brave. This one's known for its built-in privacy features like ad blocking and track blocker. And then the last one is Firefox. This one, out of the box, doesn't provide much. It provides enhanced tracking protection and a good level of privacy controls. I do know the most recent versions also include some form of sandboxing, which prevents one rogue tab from corrupting all of the tabs. But I have heard that this does use more RAM and that people have actually been complaining about that. So now for the privacy features. Of course, Tor takes the cake for this. Literally, it's clearly the top for privacy. You're routing through the Tor network, and literally nobody's going to know your IP address, your location, your Canvas ID, all this stuff. The next one is Brave. It actually has a built-in Tor mode, which honestly it might even make it better than Tor on the other lists we'll cover in a second. And it also allows the disabling of Brave trackers, which it does come with, like I mentioned in the last one. And then last is Firefox. It can be configured to collect less data, though it definitely requires more effort than Brave. So now we need to consider which browser has the best support. And honestly, I'm going to have to go with Brave. Brave works with virtually all websites due to its Chromium base, and this is no lacking features, to be honest. Next up is Firefox. Some sites might not work properly with Firefox. Like I heard like Netflix and like TikTok have some issues with Firefox, but add-ons usually can help with this. And then last is the Tor browser. It is also based off of Firefox, but it also might encounter issues with JavaScript and website functionality, especially on the mobile version, I've noticed. Next up is browser utility. And like last time, Brave supports the majority of Chrome Web Store apps and extensions out of the box. And of course, like I mentioned, it comes with a built-in ad blocker, which is perfect. Next up, Firefox. Firefox supports all of the Firefox add-ons, obviously. But then there is an add-on that allows you to use Chrome Web Store extensions within Firefox, but not only is that a bit of a security risk, it also might not work as well, considering it's kind of like sandboxing it in there. And then last is Tor browser. It's similar to Firefox, but it does come pre-installed with the NoScript add-on, which in this case it might actually be better than Firefox in this regard. Some additional considerations when choosing a web browser is that, first of all, Brave, it might not be as private as we might think, because not only is there like a big corporation running Brave, but also it's still based on Chromium, which is also maintained and owned by Google. And then, not to mention, Chromium might slowly break ad blockers because of Manifest v3. I'm going to link a video in the description by Mental Outlaw that'll detail this a lot better. Then Firefox. Mozilla has been getting paid by Google for some time now to make Google the default search engine in Firefox, which they've been getting paid millions of dollars to do this, which is kind of strange that Google would, pay their only competitor to do this. And then lastly, Tor. This might be a good point. It does not use Chrome or Chromium as a base because Chromium just has some generic security flaws. This is saying a lot about Chromium if not even the Tor Foundation can trust it for privacy. So now, if Brave isn't ideal to its Chromium base and potential chance for not being fully privacy oriented, are we stuck with using a less superior browser like Firefox? Not necessarily. And this is where this web browser called LibreWolf comes in. LibreWolf essentially is what Brave is to Chrome, but instead using Firefox. And without the big corporation behind Brave. So basically LibreWolf is Firefox, but de-Mozilla'd. And then there's no corporation behind it, it's just the open source community. It comes with a built-in ad blocking. In this case it's using uBlock origin, which is a very good sign. And it's hardened for both security and privacy out of the box. No extra configurations needed. And what more, Firefox-based browsers offer a huge amount of customization that not even Brave can replicate. For example, I made my copy of LibreWolf look exactly like Zorin OS, which honestly, it looks awesome. In fact, there's a few add-ons that I'd even recommend. And there's a few other things I'm going to link in the description that you guys can check out. But like always, make sure to share this video, gets the message across, and helps other people make good decisions about their security. And of course, gets more people onto Odyssey.